Hi, this is chapter 10.5, journal entries for interstate transactions. So in the earlier chapter, we had seen how to put journal entries for intrastate transactions. Now it is interstate transactions, means from one state to another state or from one union territory to another union territory or state, like that. So we will understand the interstate transactions, accounting entries in GST, set off against CGST output tax, set off against SGST output tax, as well as finding out net tax payable. So here we will directly go to the some points which are very important. IGST will be applicable on interstate transactions instead of CGST and SGST, which we had seen in the earlier chapter for intrastate transactions. Then IGST input account and output IGST account should be used. So let us go to the case study. Here Mr. Ravi is running a business of trading in notebooks in Delhi. He has done the below transactions for which journal entries should be passed with the necessary IGST, SGST and CGST accounts. So let us take the transactions. Purchase notebooks, 10,000 numbers for rupees 20 each from Rajasthan on 1st June. So it is a purchase from Rajasthan. So how we will put the entry? We'll come to the journal entry, date is 1st June. We'll debit purchase account and debit input IGST account. Why? It is interstate transaction. It is a purchase. And credit goes to creditors. So 2 lakh is the amount, and why 2 lakh? It is 10,000 numbers of books for rupees 20 each. Okay. And 12% is the IGST rate. So the amount becomes 24, and the gross amount to be credited with the creditors account is 2,24,000. So let us take the second transaction. Sold notebooks. So it is a sale, 6,000 numbers for rupees 40 each to customer in Delhi on 5th June. So whether it is a interstate or intrastate, our business person, Mr. Ravi, is in Delhi only. So it is a intrastate, within the state transaction. So 6,000 numbers into 40. Okay. So 5th June, debtors should be debited, and credit goes to sales account with a 2,40,000. Output CGST and output SGST account should be credited. Why? Because it is an intrastate transaction. So 14,400 each. Then debtors should be debited with a 2,68,800. Clear? And let us take the third transaction. Here it is sold notebooks, 2,500 numbers into rupees 40 each to customer in Lucknow on 12 June. So whether it is interstate or intrastate, it is interstate. Okay. So it will be amount, the sales amount will be 1 lakh. 12th June is the date. Debtors should be debited for 1,12,000. Why? Output IGST account 12,000. Clear? So it is a interstate outward supply or sales. Then let us take the fourth transaction. Paid telephone bills, rupees 5,000. What is the GST rate? 18%. By check on 15th June. Clear? So we will put the date 15th June. Telephone expenses 5,000 debited, input CGST and input SGST 450 each. Okay. Then it will be credited to bank account. Why? The check is paid. Clear? And the fifth transaction, purchase an air cooler. So it is a fixed asset. For rupees 20,000, GST rate is 18% on 22nd June. So entry will be like this. We will pass the entry on 22nd June. Debit will go to office equipment account, and debit will go to input CGST and input SGST account, 1,800 each. Credit goes to XYZ home appliances account, and credit amount is 23,600. So there are some intrastate transaction as well as some interstate transactions. Then, now we want to calculate the net tax liability. So it will be GST liability equal to output tax minus input tax. So, like what we have done in the earlier chapter, we want to pick up the inward supply as well as outward supplies. Okay. So here we need to take the output tax in table A. So transaction 2 and 3 has to be picked up. So 2 it is output CGST account and output CGST account, and third transaction is output IGST account. Okay. So it is 14,400 and it is 12,000. So that should be picked up to the table. So here it is transaction 2 14,400 and transaction 3 it is 12,000. Clear? So we want to take only output tax separately for IGST, CGST and SGST. Then coming to table B, input tax calculation, we have to analyze 1, 4 and 5. Clear? So here we want to analyze 1, 4, 5. So here we need to calculate input IGST, then input CGST and input SGST, as well as input CGST and input SGST. Clear? So that we will pick up just what we have done for output tax. So the amount will be IGST input tax 24,000, CGST input tax 2 amounts are there, SGST input tax 2 amounts are there, and total we will arrive. Clear? So we have arrived at the output tax table and input tax table. Then here what we have to do, there are certain rules to be followed. These rules are like this: IGST input tax credit can be set off with the IGST output tax, CGST output tax and SGST output tax. Clear? Then CGST input tax credit can be set off with the CGST output tax. SGST input tax credit can be set off with the SGST output tax, and CGST credit cannot be set off with the SGST output tax. So see, first we want to take IGST input tax, set off with the IGST output tax, CGST output tax and SGST output tax. So first we need to work upon IGST input tax. The second, we want to take CGST and set off with the CGST output tax. Third, we will take SGST input tax and set off with the SGST output tax. And see, important rule, you cannot set off CGST input tax credit with the SGST output tax. Okay, CGST and SGST, there is no cross settlement. So like that we will put we will take the output tax from this to here, 14,400, 14,400. Okay, so we will arrive at output tax. Is it clear? And now let us bring this input tax from this table to here. So all output tax figures have brought into the table, as well as all input tax credit amounts also have brought into the table. Clear? Now see, here output tax is the 12,000. First we will take rule 1, IGST should be set off. So it is set off with the 12,000 here and 12,000 here, because total amount is 24,000 and we get balance as nil. Then let us take rule 2, that is CGST credit. The amount is 2250. We will set off with the CGST output tax. Okay, and balance is nil. Then coming to SGST rule 3, we will take 2250. It cannot be set off with the SGST. Okay, even if there is any output tax payable. And here we will set off with the SGST output tax, and balance is nil. What is the balance amount coming? It is 150 and 12,150. So 12,300 is the total tax liability after deducting input tax credit from output tax. So we have to pass necessary journal entries. So we have settled the IGST input tax credit with the IGST output tax for 12,000, and output CGST we had set off with the CGST credit and IGST credit. So entry should be passed for that also. Then output SGST has been set off with the input SGST credit 2250, and output SGST and output CGST should be carried forward. The balance 12,150 and 150 should be carried forward to the electronic cash ledger account, and all these entries should be passed on 30th June at the month end. Clear? Then payment of tax should be passed before or on 20th July. So what is the amount that is coming? It is 12,300. So electronic cash ledger account to bank account for payment of net tax liability. Clear? So this is how the transactions are taken and how the journal entries are passed. So we had taken a case study for the understanding the transactions and journal entries. We had prepared a table for output tax and input tax. Then we made a table for setting of input tax credit with the output tax. So there is some rules. Okay, so that rules should be taken care. And we have passed the entries for setting of the input tax credit with output tax as well as for payment of tax. Is it clear? Otherwise, we can see the video again, please, and you can ask your doubts through learning management system. Thank you.